Okay, so I ran the pubcast promo reel or intro reel because I'm honest to goodness, I don't have anything for a casual Friday because this is not a thing we usually do. Normally, we do our Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. and then the once a month pubcast on a Saturday afternoon. But today, well, I was kicking it around, and I thought, why not do a casual Friday? James hasn't done one in a while, and I thought, well, if there's room in the dial, if you will, room on the airwaves, if I'm not going to um, disrupt anybody else's space, why the hell not? So here I am. Mr. Beaver will join shortly. This is a casual Friday, so anything goes. We don't have to talk politics. We can if we like, but it's kind of more about, hey, come on in, hang out. I'm just getting a link here to put in the chat. Anybody wants to join, come on in, hang out. Let's shoot the shit, so to say. I am currently very relaxed. I just got back from a long walk with Lola, and we saw some friends in the neighborhood. And I'm going to take her out again at 10 because when I walked by the pub earlier, a couple of staff members were there and like, you can bring her by later. Yeah. All the door staff love her. So like, you're bringing her by later tonight. I go, yeah. There's like one door guy who was there quite early. I guess he went in for dinner and he came out for a smoke. And he's like, oh, you have to bring her by. Like everybody loves her. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. Douglas, James, uh, we just, we, I was bored at home. I have nothing else to do. Let me send you a link. There's a link in the chat, but I'll just put it back in again. So dive on in, brother. This is more of your thing, but I was bored, and Bridget is in Kingston for the weekend with her mother and daughter. It's her daughter's birthday, so I'm like, well, I got nothing else going on tonight other than taking Lola out at 10 o'clock. So I thought I'd just come and hang out for a little bit. Douglas will join us in a bit. James, I just sent a link in there if you want to join us, man. Come on in. It, it's literally just because I'm home bored and feeling somewhat energetic and didn't want to sit in front of the boob tube tonight. For those of you who might be under the age of 40, the boob tube is what we used to call a television a long time ago. I actually don't know why we called it that because back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, when it was commonly referred to as the boob tube, there was no way to see breasts on television back then. Like nudity was not a thing. Okay, James is in the green room. Are you about ready there, brother? Give me a thumbs up on when you're good to go. And okay,
Yeah.
all right, there you are.
So you
Yeah,
want to
you
steal
are
my
the
name, eh,
inventor.
buddy?
What's that?
You want to steal my name, eh? Couldn't just come
No,
up
not
with
at all.
anything like relaxing weekend door or something,
I suppose I could come up with something better. I just thought, the Friday night morning, the Friday, what is it? What did James? What did he put up here? The Fault Beaver Morning Show nights. I don't know what the fault means. There must be a typo.
I'm going to give you a worldwide exclusive right now. You ready?
Yeah,
I have the camera on 75% of my face
yeah.
because I just had dental surgery today.
Oh, and oh my goodness! Wow.
Hold on,
That.
let's do that again. The great reveal. This is normal James, looking a little haggard these days, but he's doing okay, right?
Man. Ow, that's a lot of swelling, bro.
Yeah. Dude, it was out to here, like maybe like there
Oh
for like
wow.
5 days. I went to emergency
Oh.
and they're like, yeah, we can't help you. What? Yeah,
Shit.
we need a dental surgeon. We don't have a dental surgeon. So I had to wait like 5 days and then go to Ottawa. I
Yeah, I was
can't
gonna
see the
say
chat. I want to see people laughing.
that's not your house. That's
Well,
you're downtown somewhere, right?
yeah, I'm staying in an Airbnb in Air DNC.
Air DNC.
Yeah.
So, are you suffering from a lot of pain, or?
No, not. This is like day one of not really feeling that much pain.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
good.
been able to sleep for more than 45 minutes at a time for like a week,
Oh
which is
God.
awful. You know what happens? The second you fall asleep, you're dreaming.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when you wake up, you're still talking as if you're dreaming. You're just like, oh my God, this is like no one can live like this. So yeah,
Yeah, that it sucks, dude. I'm sorry you're going through that, but I'm
that's
assuming
okay.
surgery
No one
was
knows I'm
well?
going through that unless I do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so funny.
Wow. That that can't be pleasant. That must have hurt a lot.
It did. It was like because not only does it hurt where the abscess tooth is,
Mhm.
it then hurts your cheekbone. It
Yeah,
climbs
yeah.
into your sinus. It hurts your jaw. It hurts your temple. It gives you a headache. Your eyeball starts to feel like there's an alien trying to climb out of it. You know, like it's just it's all connected, man. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it's the way you
and what,
can't sleep on that side of your face. It's
what kind of medication do they put you on to as a painkiller, like 222s or
all of it. No, you know
yeah.
what's funny? I did it all without painkillers because I don't want to take painkillers. So
Yeah,
I
I
took
understand.
anti-inflammatories and Tylenol with codeine, but that's not really. I guess that's a
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah, those are 222s. Tylenol with codeine is like, Tylenol 3s. That's you can get it at the
Tylenol
drugstore.
threes are pointless. Tylenol with codeine, it almost feels like there's an additional purpose to taking
Mhm,
them.
mhm.
You know, they have that
Well, I can
addicts.
understand your point though, because if you take opiates, it's like you're high all the time, you're not yourself, and the next thing you know, you're craving more of them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the
That's
last thing you want.
true. I'm eating Thai food, so maybe I'll pop in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Shit, I didn't know how long you in town for?
Till tomorrow at noon. I just
Okay,
came here
well,
to. Oh, you want to hear something funny?
yes.
I'm strapped to the table. You know, the technician is like, because also I can't open my mouth more than this,
Oh,
right?
shit.
But before it was even half that. So I'm like, trying to get my mouth open so they can get in there. And he's like, it's crunchy. You know, the suction sound is happening. You know, metal is clanging against my ivories. And then he'd give me a break. And every time he gave me a break, I'd be like, I will not tell you where the gold is. Just or the bombs. I think I said bombs. But yeah. And he starts like, James, you can't make me laugh. And I'm like, I have to laugh, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah, otherwise you'll cry, right? Because it's
yeah,
that painful. Yeah.
exactly. Okay, let me eat and I'll get back to you.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll be hanging out for a bit, so I got, until
All right,
10 o'clock at least.
hold on, everybody. Not bad, haggard, but a little tired.
A little tired, but yeah. Oh my god. Hit with the puck? It's kinda what it looks like. It's like I'd hook a puck to the face. And myself as a goaltender, that's actually happened to me. Uh, so you can see my nose is kind of twisted and broken, because of the fact that it's twisted and broken. Hang on, I just gotta check on something here. I think is there something? No, everything's good. I thought I had a screw up here. But yeah, no, I, used to play a lot of hockey. Um And as a result of being a goaltender and loving the sport more than anything else in the world, I would play whenever I had a chance. And every now and then it's like, "Hey, I wanna play out." So I'd play defense because I didn't wanna be a forward. I'm somebody who's naturally defensive because I wanna protect people, protect my herd, protect my family, my community, my folks, my team. So, we'd be playing on the outdoor rink, and we didn't wear helmets or anything. It was just shinny. But inevitably, a stick or a puck would hit me in the nose, and times during practice, we'd have the, scrimmage at the end of the practice, like 10 or 15 minutes worth, nothing crazy, and, of course, you'd been practicing, so you're working up a sweat, so I'd take my helmet off, put it on the back of the net, wipe the face off, take a drink of water, and turn around, and it's like there's a scrimmage, and there's the puck, boom, right in the nose. So my nose has been broken 3, 4 4 times for sure. I'm not sure if it's 5. 'Cause one of them might have been a pretty severe concussion. I know I joke about the fact that I've had a lot of concussions because, well, I've had a lot of concussions. It's true, I'm not making it up. I've had a lot of concussions, and as a result, as I get older, I find that the memories seem to slip away a little bit. Tonight, I was out with some friends for a little bit and having a conversation. I'm like, that guy from the place in the movie where the thing was, and the guy who plays the claw guy from the movies and the Marvel stuff, and they're like, X-Men. I go, yeah, what's the claw guy? The claw guy, and they're like, Wolverine. Yeah, yeah. What's the actor's name? And they're like, Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Like, honest, I couldn't remember any of that shit. I couldn't remember Wolverine. I couldn't remember Hugh Jackman. I guess it's all downhill from here, eh? What are you gonna do? I mean, you gotta laugh about it because crying's not gonna do anybody any damn good, and life is short. So, sorry, I'm just trying to fix something here on the go. Just enjoy it for what it is. I mean, we're in a very confusing time. Let's face it. It's, I think we kinda talked about that ad nauseum this morning, and there's a couple of clips that I have to put together tomorrow to, put up some shorts because we had some good moments today that I thought were short worthy in the sense that it helps bring viewers in, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but shorts help advertise the channel, and advertising is everything we can do to help grow the space, and let's face it, we need to grow the space because, I don't have any other source of income right now. I I tore my jeans earlier on. I don't even know what I did it on. It's like an L tear. I'm not gonna show you. It's just below the pocket. I have no idea what I did it on, and I was a little disappointed, upset. I mean, they're just jeans, but I've had these for, like, 8 years, and I like them. Jack& and Jones are my favorite jeans, and I paid a lot of money for them at the time, but luckily, they had a 2 for 1 sale on, so I was able to get, for $150, I got 2 pairs of jeans, which is still an absurd amount of money because I used to buy my jeans for 20 or $30. And this is the second last pair of jeans I bought. I did buy a pair of jeans in, the winter of 2021, at H&M. They're skinny stretch. I wear them on occasion, not often, but that was the last time I bought a pair of jeans. I guess I'm at the point where casual pants to me are chinos or, uh, jean style, but not denim. I don't even know what that means. Is it that I'm getting that old, or is it because it's just more suitable to where I go, what I do, where I hang out? Uh, Jeans have a time and a place, and I think largely the time and the place for my life is, in the past. Not saying that I won't buy a nice pair of jeans if I see them and I like them, but I have enough and I don't need any more. I do believe that Mr. Beaver, I'm sorry, I'm Mr. Grizzly. Sorry, I'm just wiping off a screen here. Mr. Beaver is supposed to join us shortly. Lola was here a second ago, and I don't know where she disappeared to. Hang on a second. Let me just mute the mic for a second. Yeah, Lola has a mind of her own. If she doesn't wanna come over, she's not coming over. That's just who she is. 20 minutes from now, she'll be all up in here on top of me hanging out. Right now, she just wants to lie on the couch and watch TV. Believe it or not, she occasionally does watch TV, and I'll put on some of our shows so she can hear my voice and Uncle Douglas, and I'll put on Mademoiselle Fox's shows so she can see and hear mommy, and then I'll put on some sort of sporting event because as it turns out, oddly enough, she'll sit and watch football with me, which I don't understand. I don't know, maybe it's the green field, the ball moving, the people moving, I have no idea, but she'll sit and actually watch it intently. I don't believe she has any idea what the hell is happening, but she finds it fascinating, and for me, that's cool, you know? And hanging out on a Sunday afternoon or a Friday evening in the summer because 'cause I'm a CFL guy, watching football with my best gal, that's no knock against my wife, that's just anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is a beer mug from, I'll hold it up so you can see it. Haberoni Roundtable number 26, Beer Fest 2001. Don't, what does it say? Don't let your friends go without you. Masscom was the title sponsor. That was a beer fest. So technically, I guess you could say it was an Oktoberfest, but they called it Beer Fest. And I was there in October. I took off from Ottawa on October 11th, 2001, 1 month after 9/11. And when the airport security said, be at the airport 3 hours before your flight or you will not get in the door, they were not joking. Life had changed for all of us after 2001. Anyway, so that was me. I spent 6 weeks in Gaborone, Botswana, spent some time in Zimbabwe, and about a day or two in South Africa. And it was life changing. And I will never, ever forget it. And I have a ton of souvenirs, this, being one. I have carvings up over here on the wall. I can't really show them to you without moving a camera. Maybe I can fix something up here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can. I'll see if I can jerry rig something to show you some of the stuff. I don't know if this camera will work, but I'll give it a shot, right? It doesn't hurt to try. I mean, heck, if you don't try, you won't succeed. If it's just, it doesn't seem to even be powering up. Well, if I pull out the other one, just unplug that one. Yeah, it's still not functioning. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it work or not. I'll try. Let's see, extra camera. No. Oh, there it is. Oh, and look at that. It is actually working. Okay. So I will show you some. Oops. I don't want to break it. Hang on. Okay, slowly adjusting the camera, and then I have to zoom it a little bit, so because it's kind of far away, but you'll get a general idea there as I pull it up. Just bear with me for a moment or two, if you will. I will. Is that? Oh, there's. Okay, I see what's happening here. Mr. Beaver is slowly joining us. I can see that he has connected in the background. I guess he's almost ready. You ready? You thumbs up, good to go? Okay, I'll bring him on camera now. Here we go. There you are, sir.
Well, I didn't know I was that close to it. I couldn't see myself.
Are you at the Ottawa Beaver Lodge?
I am at the Ottawa Beaver Lodge.
I didn't know you were in town this weekend.
Yeah, I had to come down for a quick little emergency, help a friend out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, James is in town too, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on a few minutes ago. He had to have dental surgery, and he's in town. He's at an Airbnb downtown somewhere.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Ah,
I didn't get the details, but he's going to jump back in. He's watching right now, and he
okay.
said he'd come back in a few minutes once he had an opportunity. He's just having some Thai food, and I guess I figured, he's gone through a bit of a, he's had some complications there with the whole, I gotta try and digest some food.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
so let me
It's
see
kind
if
of
I can.
funny because, like, earlier this week, I was in the same situation. Well, not as same situation because I assumed that that's different. But when I couldn't eat for about like 24 hours because I was doing the cleaning thing, and I was
Right.
sort of like when it was all done and I came to and all that kind of stuff and rested a bit. It's sort of like they said the first thing like don't push it too hard. So I just had toast with applesauce to start. But then after that, when that was done, I was like, I just really wanted to go out for something that was like just like punch me in the mouth with flavor. Just like just.
So there we go. I just want to display some of my African art. That's only some of it. I've got more. Of course, some people have seen my house hippo.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
there
and
has to.
there's yeah. So there we've got. What do we got here? We got a walking stick. There's a Hot Wheels. That's obviously not from Africa. There's a whip. No, it's
Ooh,
not what you think. You can see my old Tilly hat, which has everything written on it of all the places that went. There's a belt you can see hanging on the wall there, underneath the Star Wars popsicle thing that Bridget gave me as a gag gift. There's a mask, cutout wood carving out of Africa, and a basket from Botswana. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I brought back from that trip. And it was like I said, a life-changing trip for a million different reasons. One of them being when I went, I was at the lowest point in my life and I was miserable, like miserable. And looking back on it, it was like, yeah, it was stupid. You were miserable, dude. You're a white guy living in Canada. You're already on top of the bloody world. You just didn't realize it. I didn't understand the privilege or any of that at the time. But depression is a serious medical issue. And who's kidding who when you don't know you have it, right?
Mm.
It's you don't just simply decide that, oh yeah, everything's going to be better. No, it's not. Well, just be happy. Yeah, it's that freaking easy. Yeah, just be happy. No, it 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 doesn't work that way. It's a medical concern, a medical issue, and if you don't get it treated, bad stuff happens. So, I went there at the lowest point in my life, and it was my dad who called me up and said, just basically, here's some money, here's a ticket, get on the plane and come and stay with us. So I called my boss and said, I need to take some time off. I need to go visit my parents in Africa. And he went, take as much time as you need. Because he knew what I was going through. He recognized it at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's 24 years ago.
Mm.
Well, 23 and a half years ago, whatever, 23 plus years ago, almost 24 years ago. And I didn't recognize it at the time. I didn't know what I was really going on. I had been diagnosed a couple of years prior, but I wasn't in good headspace.
Mm.
And the medication that they put me on did not work well, so I went off of it, and then I didn't go back on it again until 2020, right? Anyway, yeah, Miss Shattuck actually, it's more of an Indiana Jones thing. It's not. It's a decorative whip. Literally, if you snap it, it's going to explode. It's more of a Halloween prop than anything else. It
Oh,
is
okay.
leather, but it's not a very good one. But yeah, there you go. And let's see. I'll just tilt the camera down a little bit because I got some more memorabilia I can show you. That's just on one wall, though. Of course, you can see. Oh, there's a bit of the bar there. You see that? And there's so another Tilly hat. You can see the part of the walking stick there. You can see most of the whip, and there's a whiteboard, and that's an old school diving knife that is from the early '70s, I think, if memory serves. My dad, when he was a diving instructor, a dive master, and he gave me all his gear. So I have. Actually, that's all I really have left. Everything else, I have the wetsuit. I have his old first one-piece wetsuit, but it doesn't quite fit me anymore. Um, and when he had it made for him in '68, he was slimmer and trimmer and a little bit shorter than me. I'm bigger than he was at, I don't know, like 20. At the age of 30, I was like huskier, if you will. I don't know what the word, broader
Okay.
shouldered.
Yep.
So I can squeeze into it, but it's my age. So I I don't wanna put it on unless I'm gonna use it for something special because I'm afraid I might kill it, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. So, yeah, I've got that and the diving knife, and that's it. Everything else is gone. The tank and, the BC, or what we used to call a Mae West back in the day. Now they call them a BC buoyancy control. One second. Or VC, I don't remember. Anyway, the only thing I have left is the wetsuit and that, diver's knife.
You say he
And
was a dive master?
Yeah, he was a dive master. He used to teach people. He was an instructor. You name it. Yeah, it's everything my dad did. He was kind of like.
That's pretty damn cool.
Well, yeah, and everything he ever did in his life, he was always the best at. He
Gotcha.
became a jet engine specialist. He became the world's leading specialist on one particular model of jet engine. That's how he ended up in Africa. He became a mechanic. He was the best mechanic anybody knew. He became a dive instructor. He used to teach people. So there's specialized vehicles they use to haul aircraft in and out of hangars.
Mhm.
So he learned how to do that and took a course on it and became the best instructor. So we started to teach people how to do that. Like quite literally, everything he ever did in his life, he excelled at. That's just who he is, and I get some of that from him, but I'm not even 1/10 of the man that he is.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I live in his shadow. It's not like that. It's just he's just better. It's as simple as that. You know, it's each time you make a copy of something, the copy diminishes a little bit. So that's what I'm getting at,
You're thinking of multiplicity.
sort of.
Ah,
I mean, I'm
I
really good at everything I do, but when
yes,
I did, I'm not as good at a lot of the things that he did. And simple as that. Now, that being said, we have talents and gifts in different areas of each
right.
other.
That's
So there's
exactly
things
what I was
that
gonna
I
say.
do that I excel at that he could never do, and vice versa. So, you know,
Yep,
that's kind of how it works out. It's kind of how it balances. So, yeah,
yep.
yeah. Well, this is actually gray, not green. Somebody said both can greenish. No, this is a bluish gray.
Yeah,
Uh,
you'd see more background if
yeah,
it was
yeah,
green.
yeah. You can see a bit of the back of my chair here for some reason. It's the way the light's hitting it. Like I've got one light out over here, and I have to replace it. But it's kind of like low down my list of priorities of things that need to be paid for right now. I have other bills that I got to pay that are a little more important. So purchasing a new light for the studio that can wait a little bit. I got enough here that'll keep me going until such time as they all burn out, and then it's like, all right, so we need an emergency fund. That's when we have the telethon. Keep Paul in the business of doing a podcast. So I will. I'm going to put back. I did. I did throw up a. Yeah, I threw up an invite in the chat because it's Casual Fridays. If anybody wants to join in and hang out, you're welcome to do so. It's just a chill out evening. I'm only going to be here for a little bit because, like I said, well, I got to take Lola out at 10 so she can see her friends on Elgin Street. The Empress of Elgin needs to visit her subjects on a Friday evening.
Oh well.
You know,
Your royale with cheese, Queen Beaver, knows a lot about keeping
yes.
the subjects happy. You have
Well,
to.
uh,
You serve at
empty
their pleasure.
empty leaf gardens. To answer your question, what won't we believe? Well, uh, we're a morning show Monday to Friday, and we've done like maybe three. Have we hosted two or three Friday evening things? I think we've done it three times
I'm
where
not
it was just
necessarily sure if we hosted like Friday evening things, but we've had a couple of
mm,
daily Beaver morning show nights.
yes,
Yes,
but I think we've done like two. I think we've done like three Friday evening things, and I
but
think there were times when James
but
just wasn't available, and I thought
yes,
I was bored and I was looking forward to doing it, and I reached out to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I was kind of wanting to do it, but James couldn't do it, so we'll just do something in in
yeah, we'll
in
just
his
hang out.
stead." Yeah, yeah, just and just to keep everybody else entertained, if you will. So
Well, it was one of those things back then. It's like there was always some type of casual Friday of some type, and if somebody wasn't doing it, then it was sort of like, well, we're still available, so
I'm bored. I got nothing else
why
going
not?
tonight, so why not? Yeah, kind of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So had an interesting chat earlier with some of my buddies about so um, politics.
not today. I've just done enough. I can imagine saying, "Well, yes, I guess we could, but
Well,
I've done that today already."
it was kind of along the lines of like, so, is there a new Hitler? Like, yeah,
Uh,
I think there is. Yeah, and his name is Donald Trump. It was an interesting conversation, but we were all kind of sort of in the agreement of like, you know, I really feel bad for somebody who's like 15 or
mm,
18 or 20 years old right now because it's going to be really rough for them for the next few years.
yeah. Although
Yeah.
I am worried about my that being the vibe during my golden years.
Well, that's the other thing too, you
It's
know.
like it's like, "I'm sorry, man, but I really don't wanna have to go back into a closet."
Yeah. Yeah.
Not especially not when I'm old. Like, you see all these action movies, "I'm too old for this shit." It's like, "I'm too old for
Yeah.
that shit."
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't
Uh,
I can't relate to that aspect of it, but I can certainly understand. It's like I'm too old for a lot of shit right now, you know. And one of them being, I just oh, there's James. I can barely see it, bud. You might need to turn a light on or something. He's in the background there. It's very dark, but I'll bring you in anyway. It's just super dark. Oh,
You
you're
don't want to see.
outside.
You don't want to see this face right now. It's okay.
Yeah, well, Douglas hasn't seen it yet, so he doesn't know. I told him he had surgery.
see?
Well, I'll show it to him one day.
Okay.
One day. Trying to look on the
Okay,
other side.
let me.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Okay. I'll just. So yeah, if you're, it's like it's honest to goodness, I want to have this conversation with my nephews, and there's a part of me that would like to bring them onto the show to say,
Mm.
"How you doing? What are you
Mhm.
thinking? What what are your hopes and dreams, and are they dashed?" When I was their age, a lot of my hopes and dreams were, uh, I wouldn't say dashed, but they were tempered
Mm.
because, well, as you well remember, the documentary "If You Love This Planet" that won an Oscar, which was about nuclear annihilation, that was in the back of our mind every day for a long time, and it's a terrible way for somebody to go through their childhood when you're thinking you're going to be annihilated by the Russians or the Soviet Union at the time. But that was a very much a reality for us back then. Now we don't think about being annihilated by nuclear warheads because of the fact that they realize if they nuke us, well, shit, they can't take over the land. It's worthless to them and useless to them. And they discovered that with Chernobyl, and that wasn't even a bomb.
Mm.
So do we have to worry about anybody nuking us? Oh, hell no. No. Unless you've got a James Bond villain who wants to nuke the planet and start something in space a la Moonraker. Oh shit, maybe that's Elon Musk wants to do. You do remember the plot of Moonraker? It was a billionaire who wanted to start a new master race in space, and he
Mm.
was kind of a eugenicist. So, oh shit. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought so. I fucking thought so.
James was just here, and did you see his live face? He's like, "Oh, really? Really?
Really?
Oh my gosh!"
Well, when James dialed in, I go, that looks like the Ottawa Beaver Lodge, but I'm not 100% sure. And you didn't say anything to me, so
Now all you can see is my swollen fist.
yeah.
I'll just for the whole time.
But you're like, I'm at an Airbnb. I'm like, you're downtown.
Air
And I
D
thought
and
it was
C. I said Air DNC, and you're like, ha 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 ha.
I thought it was your place, but I didn't want to say that because I don't know. But you're like, you're in Ottawa? Yeah, I'm gonna. In my head, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 4. But
And the boss is here too, Alistair McBear.
well, I'm gonna do this, and then I got to jump away for a minute. So you guys got the whole thing for a few minutes. I'll be back.
Right.
So, Douglas,
So, James.
that was funny. The only other time, you know, what would be amazing to be the guy who like crashes podcasts, and it could be anything from the Eager Beaver show to like the breakdown to like some CBC podcast, and then just all of a sudden, like James shows up. Hey, what's going on? You got dental surgery today. It turns out I'm allergic to skunk, and I'll check you later. And drink Red Bull.
Turns out I'm allergic to skunk.
The best.
You're just like,
It's
or like today in news.
It's like an ad for Adderall. That'd be dope. So this is where this is your whole thing? Like this is what we see you on every day?
Well, when I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, technically until we're finished playing renovation Tetris and I can actually build the new desk to put the new computer that I bought. Yes.
Dude, I always thought you had like this grandiose thing with 2 monitors.
No, I do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the typical thing, but for the past few months I've been operating off this.
Look at that face. Okay, here's the real story, guys. Douglas beat me because I forgot the safe word.
He had it.
So it's my fault, as he has told me many times.
He had it coming. He had it coming. No. I keep on telling you the safe word is pickles, and you keep on saying watermelons.
Actually,
what am I supposed to do?
I asked you what the safe word is, you're like this. What's a safe word?
We don't need no safe words. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe.
I don't know how to put comments on the screen, but we'll empty that. Poor James, I've been there. Come on, guys, you can do better than that with comments.
Oh wow!
Laugh at us.
Jeez. So we got the.
I was Douglas's emergency situation today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
But I did it the right way.
Yes.
What was it, 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday I called up Douglas and I was like, I'm trying to get a spot for emergency dental surgery in Ottawa. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Can I please spend the night at your house? And he was like, yeah, but I thought he was like, I don't know what I thought. I thought you were already here or something. I think. Yeah. And then, so this guy, like, how long did it take you to get there?
About 2 hours. 2 hours. Well, yeah, 2 hours.
Dude, I'm from Toronto. People don't do shit for 2 hours.
Not Toronto. I guess I'm not from Toronto.
I'm from
an
Toronto.
Ottawa boy.
People don't do anything if it takes 2 hours.
There we go.
Oh.
So we can see.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Get close, snuggle. There you go.
All right, is that better?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is our Christmas card. I'm an atheist. He's Saddam Hussein.
Come on up, Lola.
Come on. Don't be like that.
Saddam, why don't you just tell me what you want to do?
Igor and Saddam.
The Igor and Saddam show would be like,
Yeah.
come on. If Ed the Saw can do it, Igor and Saddam can do it. You know?
Come on, Satan.
Don't be like that, Igor. Come on.
What do you want from me? I am Igor. Look at this face. No one can touch. Igor morphs from like Transylvania to like Brooklyn Jewish man. Like, no joke left. What do you want? I'm doing my best over here. Hey. Do you want a beer? What are you trying to say? Oh.
Do you want some?
No, I'm on
No.
antibiotics.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, you
can't.
Trying to Lola. Oh,
And that was the first time James was caught on camera refusing drugs or
There you go.
alcohul.
Lola.
Oh, hi, Lola.
Hey, baby girl.
he's just staring right at the camera.
Who's
Hi,
the pretty
sweetheart.
girl?
Do you
Hi,
remember
Lola.
cuddling? You do, don't you? Yes,
Oh,
you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the sweetest?
Do you remember whipping me with your tail? And I was like, is that all you got?
Who's the prettiest girl?
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
The only big dog I've met in a long time where I don't mind that she wants to cuddle constantly.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't like big dogs that want to cuddle normally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, did she do the thing where she comes in and she just like leans into you?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Paul,
you're
I got
just
the full
there?
gauntlet, I think.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Cool.
She's just like probably. Look, so when Bridget brought her home the first night, I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's she's much bigger than I thought she would be." Right? I'm like, "Oh, that's a bigger dog than I hang on a second. There we go. That's better. That's a much bigger dog than I was expecting." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." But she's kind of skinny, and you know, soon enough we got her acclimatized to this new home and the fact that she had a home and like lots of comfortable beds to sleep in. And then we got her up to, she's about 85 pounds now. So I think they said she was 80 when we got her. And I'm like, there's no way she was 80 pounds when we got her. She was skin and bones. Now she's a very healthy, happy little girl who just loves to cuddle and play. And I mean, she's the brightest light of my life. It's going to sound sappy. I will never have children, but I think I have this much of an idea of what it's like to be a parent, and how you know that like she literally, I would do anything for her. I'm not kidding. I would kill for her. I really would.
That's
And
the part
I
that's
think-
insane. But you can't
What's that?
leave. Unfortunately, I can't leave my 3 and 8 year old. I don't have a 3 and 8 year old, but when I did, I can't leave them at home for 24 hours and feel okay.
Right. Well, I can't leave. She's 8 hours is the max she can do.
Oh,
That's
right.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Forgot about that.
8
Mhm.
hours.
Yeah.
No, she's loving
But
it.
I get the idea. I have a like this much of an idea of what it must be like to be a parent, because I've had lots of dogs in my lifetime, but I've never had a dog like her, who is so affectionate and yet a bloody killer if she wants to be.
You don't do like orphans, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, like good orphans, not the ones that turn out to be drug addicts and criminals, but like they're like good orphans. No, like not, yeah, not like that, right? Yeah. But you know the ones I'm talking about. You live with them, right? You know, a couple.
Oh,
Anyway, you know what I mean. But they're the ones that are so thankful that a family wants to love them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
And the
hopefully,
thing is, I'll take her out for a walk, and I bring her I bring her beside the dog park. If there's dogs in the dog park, I won't take her in. But other dogs will approach her to the fence, and they'll start barking at her, and she's kind of like, why are you barking at me? Then they bark at her loudly, and then she's like, oh, it's on, bitch. And I mean, you
wait,
guys
wait.
have only
Hold on. One thing Lola does have in common with the low life orphans is that she'll put her paws on you without any consent at all.
Oh yeah, yeah, she don't give a shit. Dude,
Very
I'm
touching.
gonna have to start wearing a cup. Right?
Yeah. So as much as we want to sing her praise, she's still an orphan.
Oh yeah. But I've seen her go from like, hi daddy, this is so much fun, to Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
And then I'll just pull her back and go, no, bad behavior. Leave that other dog alone. And I don't bring in the dog park if there's other dogs there because they get aggressive with her and she snaps. I mean, she makes Mike Tyson look like a pussycat. When she
My
snaps,
is also
well,
an orphan.
when she
Was
snaps
found
and you
on the-
see it, it's
Was found
terrifying.
on the side of the road with porcupine quills in his nose.
Oh God.
He forgot the safe word, evidently, as well. Right. Brought him home though, but
Needle play.
yeah. But you put the cute in acupuncture or anything. but I've never had a kid. Maybe I'm just naive to this because I'm a city guy, not a rural guy. But the cat plays in the snow, and I throw snowballs at it, and it tries to catch it, buries itself in the snow. Like, do cats do that in the country? Is that just what they do?
In the
Cats
country,
will only go
yeah.
out when it's snowing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Lola's not supposed to be able to like snow or cold weather. She's a Dogo Argentino. There's apparently they hate cold, they hate the snow. No, not her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to come in and I take her out. She immediately goes to the snow. She won't walk on the sidewalk. She wants to be in the snow. She likes to play in it, dance in it, prance in it. She's a character.
Yeah. Lola is a character.
She really is. Well, and I got some sad news. Yesterday, Bridget was telling me that one of my neighbors who lives across the street, she has a dog who's, I think he's a blue pointer, but I could be wrong. But his name is George, and he's a bloody character. But George is 14, and George is being put down next Friday because he's not good. He's having a rough time. Like I was out with Lola earlier today, and I saw Carrie, and I slowly approached. She goes, "Don't get too close. George is not good." George is
I met
almost
George when
Yes,
you
you did.
go for a walk.
Yeah.
They're like kind of friends, right? Like they're
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And George is now like vicious and attacking everything and everyone except for his mom. So and he's not doing. He's 14. He's not doing good. So we're having like a thing next Friday. We're all going to get together, say goodbye, and then we're going to leave. And then the vet's coming in to put him down. And it's heartbreaking. It's sad, and because he's the neighborhood dog that everybody knows, but he's just it happens. That's life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah.
Imagine one day we were able to like translate what dogs are really thinking and feeling, and
I
they've
wish
been
we
trying to
could.
tell us for 100 years. It doesn't hurt. You don't have to put us down. We're just tired.
I'm just tired. Just give me some CBD, man.
For
let me
God's
chill the
sake,
fuck
guys.
out.
How dare you? Like, this is murder.
Just
Yeah,
leave one of the gummies out on the table, man.
Don't kill me. Just give me a gummy. I'll be good.
God damn it. The great cull of the 20th and 21st century. And then one day we invent a translator.
Humans.
You know what? I do believe that someday, I won't be around to see it, but I do believe that someday they will be able to translate a certain amount of what dogs are thinking and saying. Like, you've seen the dogs that have the push buttons.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to mention that. I see those little clips, and it's like I turn around. Really, it's like, my God.
Well, one of them especially, it
figure it
started with this one dog, Bunny, and Bunny is a very smart dog. And Bunny's
They confuse
owner,
the children, so.
well, Bunny's owner is a linguist.
Smart cat, that dog, buddy.
Well, she's a behavioral and a linguist, and so she bought a couple of these buttons and put it down, and taught Bunny as a puppy to, outside, water, food, blah blah blah. Now she's got like so many of them where Bunny will walk up and press one button and say "Mom," go up and go, why? Why what, Bunny? Why dog? Like, what? Her dog is having an existential crisis as to why she's a dog and her mom is a human. Why person? Why dog? I'm like, oh shit, dogs are way smarter than we ever thought. Like
Pretty
this is
liberal in the interpretation of what those button pushing meant, but I'm with you. I'm tracking.
well, there was one episode, one TikTok where Bunny walked up and kept pressing one button and said, Mom hurt. Mom hurt. And she goes, where does it hurt? She's like, paw. So she came over and looked, oh my God, she had a thorn in her paw, but it was like between her pads and she has thick fur, so they couldn't see it. So she pulled it out. She's like, thank you, Mom. And another linguist and a behavioralist and a dog specialist said, there's no way there's, and then somebody showed them that video and they were like, okay, so I was wrong and dogs are smarter than we give them credit for and they communicate the best way they can.
Yeah.
So I'd
We
love to
communicate with language, and they communicate with like emotion, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Well, I bought some buttons for Lola, but no. You have to start when they're puppies. And she's been through 3 homes and a couple of shelters before she ever found me. So, Anyway.
It's not Casual Friday. No one cleared it with me. I don't know what you guys are talking about there in the chat.
Well, that's why I didn't say Casual Friday. It's like, you won't believe this. It's chill out
Even
Friday,
added an
right?
addendum. You're like, James hasn't really been doing shit all lately. So.
It's chilling on Friday. That's all it is. I didn't want to steal your moniker, man.
It's not a moniker. It's a show. It's an entity. It's a vehicle.
There
You know how much they made off that show?
It's a 5.
Nothing.
What? We're doing this before?
Yeah, right. No, I was Douglas and I were talking about this earlier tonight about how even when Blackballed was like for 2 years, it was like a top 20 show or top 30 show or whatever in its category or whatever in Canada. And I didn't make any money, but I never looked at it as a money making thing.
Right.
I always looked at it as like a connection maker or like a source maker or a book deal maker or whatever. Like it's always sort of different. Like, and then the fun of it, it was fun.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's kind of, I'm at a point in my life where I keep getting job offers to do what I used to do. And I was having a conversation with my mother earlier this evening. I said, Mom, I can't do that anymore. She goes, well, you might have to. And I'm like, you don't understand. I cannot physically do that work anymore. I get out of bed and I walk around like I'm 80 years old, and I'm not. If I start doing that work again, I'll kill myself. I'm not killing myself for somebody else to make a paltry sum. It's no.
If you killed someone else, who would you find to help bury the body?
Not something I've ever had come up in conversation before, so I honestly don't know.
Obviously, you're never going to kill anyone. Look how intimidating and weird I look.
Popeye, you need a pipe.
Like
Popeye.
I look like Mike Duffy. And
Mike Duffy. There's a name I haven't heard in a couple of weeks.
Dude, I have talked to that guy on the phone a bunch of times, and he's the kind of guy where you can't get off the phone.
Oh, yeah. My sister used to know him.
Eventually, you're literally like this. Duff,
I gotta
go, brother. James, just before you go.
So my sister met him a long time ago. My sister's a writer. She does PR work. When she met him, she was studying journalism, and she was working as a server at a Swiss chalet. And he used to love to go to that Swiss chalet that she worked at. And he went there I think he was there every Sunday. And she respected his work and who he was and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we later found out things about him that maybe we didn't want to know. Like how he writes things in his journal, like, today I had explosive diarrhea. Is that something you really want to record?
Who's reading his diary?
Well, it was read into the Hansard for when it came to the
that's a Harper maneuver there.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably has fingerprints around that story too.
The $90,000 expenses that they said he shouldn't have expensed, and I'm like, well, actually,
it didn't even break the rules.
He didn't break the rules.
Corrupt. The rules are corrupt, not him.
Yep. Well, and
And then
that's the thing.
You did ask.
and Nigel Wright, and I've said this before, must have the best PR
I know.
people on the planet.
Fuck.
Because everyone was literally like this. I know that Nigel Wright gave him the money secretly, but we can't say anything bad about Nigel Wright. Right, media? And the media's like, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time in human history where someone was criminally tried for accepting a bribe and nobody was tried for actually offering one.
That's like Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever, right? She gets charged with
Ghislaine,
trafficking kids, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But
But no one's been charged with actually like
we trafficked too.
yeah.
Well, one of the things they keep saying is, so the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, they're releasing all these records and killing all these programs. And someone's like, the only thing that's kept under wraps and kept secret are the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
nobody. Funny, we can't get any access to that, but you want to know how much this government department spent on this? You want to know how much you said? And I'm like, USAID, you just killed something that Kennedy started because you
Here's
were
the
being
thing, though.
investigated for something that
Yes,
I've
sorry to
never
cut
seen
you
a
off.
level of corruption like this before.
Here's the thing, though. If they would just leave the worthwhile shit alone,
Yeah.
go after there's some really weird ones like a theater production in Iraq about transgenderism or something, and it has nothing to do with trans people. It's just like let's go with Hungary and medical and stuff like that before we start making it rain to everybody else, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they just would have kept it at the ridiculous ones at the beginning, and then just incrementally went to other places, and then you could debate whether or not it's worthwhile and all this shit. But like, to scrap the whole thing. Did they scrap the whole thing?
Yeah.
Or are they just going one by one and looking under the hood?
They killed everything.
Yeah, they're out of all the employees that were there were like 248 that are staying, and that's it. Like some main basic stuff, everything else is gone. And
Well,
it's less than 1% of the budget to start with.
Well, and I saw something today where Elon Musk said, "Stop funding NPR. It's a waste of money." And one of the responses was, "NPR gets 1% of the budget."
Right.
1%.
Of its budget.
Right.
Yeah.
And the response was, "They get 1% of the budget. Maybe we should stop funding SpaceX that gets 30%."
Yep.
That's why it's such a bad conflict, right? Because he gets so many government contracts that who's watching over him. It reminds me of The Big Short, though. It does. Like, on paper, the concept was good.
Yeah.
Someone looked under the hood of like subprime mortgage dividends and what are they called, derivatives, and these like packages that they make, and no one looked to see what the mortgages were actually worth.
Right.
And so the idea of it was like, on paper, was like, yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. If those were actual full each 100% mortgages in it, rather than like a portion of a mortgage here and there,
or what they were rated.
I guess, and they were all heavily well-rated mortgages. That would be probably a very good vehicle.
Yes.
Buying mortgage debt for people that are credit secure and whatnot. That's very good. But you're buying 1/64th of a house that's already
it's a triple C rating in real life.
1/128th of another house and another 1/36th of another house. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I had to put this on screen because Uncover the News just gave this to us because this is crazy. Judge Bates has denied an effort to block Doge from accessing the Department of Labor despite concerns. He says the plaintiffs haven't shown they have standing.
I'm not sure who the plaintiffs were, but
so
wow.
The United States of America is now just a corporate entity.
You can do it, yeah.
There's two conflicting things right now. Elon Musk wants to make the country a corporate entity, and Donald Trump wants to make it an empire. And in doing so, he wants to take over Canada, Panama, Greenland, and who knows what else.
It's the Putin model.
And he definitely wants his head mounted on Mount Rushmore or carved into Mount Rushmore, but I'd prefer it be mounted there.
Head mounted.
Just put a little mushroom and little hands, and we'll all know.
Hold on. Head mounted.
Yeah.
I'm Mount Rushmore. Okay. Okay.
You know, he wanted it carved on Mount Rushmore, and I said, why don't we just mount his head on Mount Rushmore instead? You know?
Mount Rushmore.
Honestly, I didn't have a problem with Mount Rushmore. Who's Rushmore?
Now called Mount Mushmore now. If they put him on it.
No, I said Rushmore.
No, I was about to say it. I said Mushmore.
Mushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Who is this Mushmore? Yeah.
Bullshit.
Bullshit?
Bullshit.
I gotta love that.
There's a little clip of a guy goes around a bit and maybe in a car saying, bullshit? Bullshit.
Bullshit. A bullshit. My other favorite one of a child doing something silly was the one where wasabi. You want some wasabi? No. Wasabi. You want to try the wasabi? Wasabi. So they give the child a little wasabi. She takes it in her mouth and help. I'll see if I can find the clip because I laughed so freaking hard.
Now that it's been a few weeks, we have the opinion that Trump wanted all those oligarchs in the background.
Wow.
The way Putin used to have his oligarchs sitting around that table.
Yes.
I think so.
Like, it's the Putin model. And by the way, I've never talked about Russia and all that shit. But that poor little girl. That's abuse.
Well, I hate myself for laughing at this.
Try wasabi?
No.
She said no.
No.
Okay.
She said no twice.
Wasabi.
Do you want to try it? Smell it.
It's a bad
Smell it
mom.
first.
Can't tell they're tax sinuses. Smelling it. Oh girl.
Oh no.
If a babysitter did that to my child, I would fucking,
Oh my god.
I would smack him or her across the face.
I feel horrible for laughing.
I agree.
The Howard College is just like kids, for sure. You guys are laughing. I'm ready to kill somebody.
Oh my god. I mean,
It was the
Fucking orphans. Orphans don't give a shit about any children. They hate children as a rule. Helps them get by.
Human being. Oh my god. I found that. Oh my god.
Help. Literally. Against her consent. She's like, no. Your Honor, I'd like to point out to Exhibit A where the survivor said no 3 times.
This is the classic. This is the classic.
What did you think about the ride?
It was great. And apparently, I've never been on live television before, but apparently sometimes I don't watch I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball.
It's the Powerball.
Tell me about the ride. What did you think about the ride?
Well, it was great.
Why?
Because apparently you're spinning around, and apparently every time you get dizzy, that's all you do is get dizzy.
Is it fun?
Yeah. And I've never ever been on live television. I never ever be on live television.
Are you excited?
Yeah, and apparently I only went down the super slide. When I went down the one, I was scared half to death. I just freak out.
Okay.
What I need his name. Hi, honey. Hold on. Yep. Hold on. I'm just gonna ask him. What's his name?
Noah.
Noah. What's your last name?
Dick Ritter.
How do you spell his last name?
Ritter. R-I-T-T-E-R.
Okay. And where are you guys from?
Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre. All right.
Dude,
I love him.
that kid should have his own
I
show
know.
right now.
Well, he does have a YouTube channel. This was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
so
now he's like a teenage ginger.
yeah.
That
He's
doesn't
from
work in the market.
Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and it's he became known as the apparently kid. Like,
Yeah.
So I read something the other day actually that I thought was fascinating. You remember the Star Wars kid? So this was a young boy
Oh yeah, yeah.
in Quebec
Where he
who
would be like with the stick in his backyard.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
somebody turned it into a lightsaber, and he became
Yes.
the Star Wars kid. So he's, I think he's about 28 now, and he's a lawyer. And he was interviewed, and it was fascinating. I read the interview, and he said, "You can't let a moment like that define the rest of your life."
Of
And
course.
when he was seriously cyberbullied and made fun of, and like, and thankfully he rose above it and didn't let it define the rest of his life. And he said it wasn't easy because I was ostracized and I was made fun of, and everybody knew who I was, and blah blah blah. But he said, I I had good parents who said, "This will not bring you down. This is not your life. This is not who you are. Do what you want to do." And he became a lawyer, and he's quite successful now. And it was
Dude, he should
fascinating.
use it as part of his lawyer act.
Well, shit, I would.
I'll defend you from the darkness of justice.
I've got the Force.
But I love how he didn't let it define him,
Yeah.
which I think is a testament to how strong he is as a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody else would probably that would be the end of their life,
Well, there's this. I don't know if you read it, but remember the Nirvana album cover with the baby in the water?
Yeah.
Apparently, he came out of it a few years later, telling the story of what it was like, as he got older. Everybody thought it was cute back then, but then we got older. It was like you could see my thing.
You were a baby.
I did not consent to that. I could not consent to that.
Well, and I remember reading something to the effect that he wanted to get some money from the sales of the record, and I'm like, sorry, dude, you were an infant, and whatever your parents signed for a deal is what you got paid.
I would have worn it as a T-shirt in high school if I was that kid.
Hell yeah, every day. Who's that? Me.
You basically do already, and you're not that kid.
That was a good one. I didn't see that coming. That was a good one.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Well, that's wow.
Wow.
Put that on the screen for everybody to see.
Buffy
St. Marie's
right?
Order of Canada was terminated by the Governor General. That is
wow.
Has that happened before?
Well, yes, there have been Order of Canada that have been, but
she's a singer, right?
Yeah. But the Order, the Governor General is an Inuit woman.
If only we had devices where we could find out what's going on.
Well, I'm just kind of surprised because the story about Buffy St. Marie came out about a year ago, and they're like, she's not actually Indigenous, and I'm like, she isn't, because if she's not, she's a really Indigenous-looking white woman. My opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion. I mean, I grew up knowing her as a strong, proud Indigenous woman who was a representative of the community and brought pride and. When that story came out, I was kind of like, I don't want to touch it, man. I don't, because this is somebody I've admired my entire life, and if you want to tear her down, you can do it, but I want no part of it.
Okay, there's also nuances to stories like these, though. Like,
yes,
you remember Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we have all heard the jokes, and the jokes are fine. She was raised in a house. She was one of 5 sisters, and she was the only white one, and all her sisters were black. And she basically raised them when their mom or dad died or whatever it was. And she was like a good person raising her siblings that she knew as family. And they knew her as family. And she's sitting around. She used to do their hair. They used to do her hair. All this kind of stuff. So she felt like they were one. And so I'm not saying that she should have lied to people about her biology, but for all intents and purposes, culturally, she was a black woman.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it was everybody else that picked on her for it. And at first I read, I'm like, what? And then you get the nuance to it later, and you're kind of like, oh, yeah. Because I actually have family members. I can't, they're teenagers. But they don't.
What are their names and addresses? I know that's what he's doing. It's a joke.
I know.
They don't see themselves as black, right?
The Carlton Banks syndrome.
Well, except Carlton Banks did see himself as black. And remember, there was an episode about that when they were pledging a fraternity and they wanted Will, but they
Right.
didn't want Carlton. And Will got really mad about it. He goes, "What are you talking about?" And Carlton said, "No, Will, I've got this." He goes, "Just because I like this kind of music and this kind of clothes and I dance this way does not make me any less black. My skin is the same color as yours, and every day that I get walking down the street and I see a police officer, if I'm driving a car and I see a police officer, I face the same things you do." So whenever I hear somebody say that's the whitest black guy I've ever met, I really get enraged.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
No, I get pissed. Like I want to, I'm like, what? I get angry about it because it's like friends of mine who have been, people have said that to them and I've gotten angry and they're like, "Paul, let it go." And I'm like, no, that's bullshit, man. Because if you're driving home late at night at 2 a.m. and I'm driving home late at night at 2 a.m, which one of us is getting pulled over? And it doesn't matter that you like this kind of music and you like to play hockey and you like to blah, blah. I go, you're not seen as a white man. You're still seen as a black man first. So I get angry about that. And I mean, it sounds ridiculous because I'm the whitest guy on earth. My name is Atkinson, for Christ's sake. It's straight out of the UK. You know, half my family is from Ireland. I'm like, that's where they make the white people. But it just pisses me off when people do that.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
are
it's
you diminishing
also
someone?
people that like we're not allowed to say, and I know because there's a stereotype when a lot of people say this as a defensive posture. When they say one of my best friends is black, right? Now, when it's used in the dishonest way, of course that's a horrible thing to say.
Yes.
But you know how valuable it is that I do have a friend. Like I have more black family members, and I only have 3 of those than I do black friends. So one of my best friends is a black dude. His name is Nigel. If it wasn't for my friendship with Nigel, I wouldn't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually a great thing that one of my best friends is black. Like, it really is. Like, you know, like I have a glimpse that like one of, you know, that any other best friend, white, whatever, would be. It's the same, and it's like, you know, but you get to listen, James. When I go out, I have to make sure that I'm extra respectful.
Yes.
That kind of stuff, you know, like.
Well,
one time I was walking with him. This is just funny. I was walking with him, and this black dude was walking towards us, and the black guy that was walking towards us goes like this, and then Nigel goes like this, and I'm like, "Do you know that guy?" He's like, "James,
Nope.
Sometimes it's just nice to know there's another brother around."
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. So
Well,
that's in the movie Isn't Get Out?
Oh, did he steal that? Oh no, this was like in the '90s when.
Yeah. But there was another movie that was, you know, what 2 people walk down the street, like, nod.
Yeah.
And then there was one like one guy didn't nod. It's like, dude,
You're
like,
a cop.
he's a narc. He's a narc.
You always nod. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude.
I remember years ago, I was in DC visiting a buddy of mine, and I was telling the guys earlier a little bit about that's one weekend because I haven't seen him in a few years, and I was thinking about him lately. I gave him a call. Anyway, I went down to visit him in Washington D.C. For a weekend, and I pull up to the gate. He lived in a gated community. I pull up to the gate, and there was 2 guards there. And the one guy goes, "What? What's your business here?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, okay, Paul, go ahead through." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Oh, well, I was talking to Chris, and he said a white guy in this car with Ontario plates was coming up. So you're the only white person who's tried to drive into this community because he lived in a gated black community." They do exist, by the way, for those of you who aren't aware. And so he was like, "Yeah, you're Paul. Come on in. Cool. He told me all about you. We're good to go." So I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." He goes, "Here's your parking pass. Just put this on your dash, and you're good to go." So I pull in. I hang out with my buddy for a couple of days, and at one point we were in Georgetown, and we were walking through Dean and DeLuca, and I was grabbing something off the shelf, some cheese or something. We're going to go back and have a bite to eat, and I grabbed something, and I turn around, and he's arguing with this woman. And she was a woman in her 70s, wealthy, older white woman. And I mean wealthy in the sense that was a $12,000 watch she was wearing. She's wearing more diamonds on her other wrists than I've earned in the last 10 years, like serious money. And my buddy Chris is being like kind of rude to her. And I was like, I'm not interjecting. I'm kind of like, what's going on? He goes, and she's like screaming at him and he's yelling at her. And I'm like, can we just get out of here? And he goes, yeah, but she's being a bitch. And I was kind of like, troubled by why he would say that to a woman of that age. So I calm him down and we go to the pub and we sit down and we're having a snack and having a beer. And he tells me what happens. He's like, well, she banged into me. And I looked at her and I said, pardon me. And she said, you're in my way. You should get out of my way. You shouldn't be in my way. And she said some rather inflammatory things that I'm not going to repeat. And I remember sitting there. I'm at this bar. And I feel the same rage right now I felt then. I wanted to go back, find her in the store, and punch her in the fucking face. I was so angry. I'd never felt rage like that before. Well, I've felt it since then. I think you've all seen that on television. But prior to that, I've never been so enraged in my life. I literally wanted to go and punch this 70-year-old woman right in the face for what she said and did to my buddy. Because I didn't, a Canadian guy, a white privileged Canadian guy living in Ottawa, we don't see that. I mean, I know it exists here. I know it happens here, but it's not something that I would see or witness. In Canada, you got to remember there's a ton of racism here, but it's very polite racism.
Except when you're in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan is overt racism.
It's not overt here. It's behind closed doors, right? Like Canada is the most least racist country in the world. I go, yeah, in public. Behind even closed doors, it's a different story.
It sounds horrible, right? Like when newbies are racist, you're like, I think that was horrible, but aren't you cute? Like, look how cute you are.
Honest to God, I never wanted to punch a person in the face harder or more in my life. And I will never forget that moment because he was like, he could see I was enraged. And he's like, Paul, settle down. It's over. It's done. I go, that shit is not cool, man. He goes, Paul, welcome to being black in America. And it was a teaching moment for me.
Yeah. Because
how would I know that, right? There's no way for me to know that. It's like, I will never know what it's like to be black. I'll never know what it's like to be a woman. I'll never know what it's like to be gay or trans or Asian. I won't know. But when I witness something like that, it shakes me to my core that somebody could be so hateful towards another human being because of the color of their skin. And that is just something that does not fucking compute with me, and it never will. I don't get it.
Happened to me once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I was in South Africa, actually. My last day there.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the airport waiting in line on the...
Were you called a kafir?
No, I wasn't. But I was in line at the airport waiting to check in, and everybody was in line, and then there was one older white lady who was like standing right here. As the line was going, she's taking little steps, and she's going to like cut in, I guess, and did right in front of me.
Uh-huh.
And I, just gently tap on the shoulder, and it's like the line's over there. And she turned around and she looked at me, not a glare, but cold and nothing.
You didn't exist to her.
Yeah, but it's like, are you from here?
No, I'm
and it's
not.
like, and yeah, well, that's what I thought, right? It's like, oh, I see what we're doing here. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm from Canada, where we appreciate it when people come to our country and spend their tourist dollars here. And when they go back home, we would like to say very nice things about where it is that we went and we were raised.
And what was her response? Outstanding, sir. I don't know if I would have been quite as polite as you. I think my response would have been, excuse me, what are you doing? Well, no, the line starts back there. I'm standing here. Well, do you know where? Where are you from? I'm from Canada, where we politely wait. We queue up and we wait until each person is served. And guess what? You don't just get to barge in front of other people. The line starts back there. So please go to the back. I might say it in a calmer voice.
Mhm.
I think you should go back there where the line starts, because this is how we do it where I'm from. Well, you're not from here. Yeah, but here's the thing. Politeness and manners actually are things around the world. They're not just Canadian things. They're global things. And butting in front of somebody when we're standing in the queue is not polite. It's quite rude.
Yep.
Then I would turn to the person behind me and go, "That's really rude what she just did, right?" And ridicule them.
Yep.
I think that's probably how I would respond.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it was just, it's like polite, but very firm with the tone that it's like, I will not be accepting a retort. Right? It's like, I'm right. You know I'm right. So when I'm finished talking, that's all we will be saying, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And again, out of character for me, but it was just like that little button got pressed, and it was
Yep.
like, it's like, had that happened in Canada,
Yeah, hey,
right? It's
dude.
like, fine. You know what? Clearly, you're more in a rush than me. Fine.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, or I'd be like rolling my head, and it's like, okay, great. You're going to get on the plane. Like, you're going to cross security 3 seconds before I do. Okay, great.
Fine.
I don't know
Fine.
what you thought you won, but hey, but when it's turned around, it's like, are you from here? It's like, oh, I know what that's code for.
Yeah.
I looked in the mirror today.
Yeah.
I know I'm brown. But
Well,
but to be fair, I also want to say, because I know, like, Kitvium, we have Kitvium. Yes,
mhm, mhm.
that was the only thing remotely like that in 2.5 weeks in South Africa that I
Outstanding.
ever
One
experienced. Like,
encounter. Yeah.
one, as I was leaving at the last moment, where in an airport where people tend to be in a
Yeah.
foul mood anyway to start with. And he goes, but nothing the rest of the time. That was it. So I was like, that didn't define my experience in any way. I just kind of remember it because there's only been 2 moments in my life
Mhm.
I've been subjected to racism,
And that was one of them.
and both of them was when I was traveled, and that was one. The other was when I was in Barcelona. That was my own damn fault, because I went to Barcelona and I was speaking to everybody in the Spanish that I knew, which was Castellano Spanish. But Barcelona's in Catalonia. So when you
Yeah.
speak Spanish, you might as well be calling everybody's mother a whore
Yeah. I was going to say
directly
you
to their
stepped
face.
into it immediately, right?
Pretty much, yes. But I was like going to places like going to the store and like saying like, "Excuse me, Castellano," and they turn the sign, goes, "Say we're closed."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I get in a taxi and give direct tell where I wanna go, and they'd always take me, like, around, like, 5, 6, 7 extra blocks. And as I'm sitting there, like, or ask where the bathroom is, and the people and then walk away, and it's like, "Why is everybody such an asshole? Like, this city is so beautiful. Why are all the people dicks?"
Yeah.
And then, like, and it wasn't until, like, my 5th or 6th day that I realized, "Oh, wait a minute. This is like being in Quebec in the 1970s and speaking English."
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I get
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
But never
Exactly.
occurred to me until the day before. I was so upset that my last day there, I didn't have anything on the schedule. Like, the conference was over. I had a full day of tourism, and all I did was like go to the local store, buy a whole bunch of food, lock myself in the hotel room, and ate and watched TV because I did not want to go out and be be slagged one more time. I had had enough. I was on the verge of tears. It was like, why are people so mean to me? I'm trying to speak the language. It's like, never occurred to me that I was speaking the wrong damn language.
Well, one of those things you just didn't know until you encountered it.
Because every time I travel somewhere else, I try to always pick up somewhere. It's like I read all the signage. If there's TV, like, when I go to Mexico, all the TV has subtitles in English instead.
Mhm.
So then you pick up little expressions, and then I try to work them into my vocabulary.
Passo andare la toilette, per favore.
Ah,
You're
so
looking for the toilet.
but by the time I'm like if I'm somewhere like for about 7 or 8 days, for most intents and purposes, I can go to a restaurant and order in that language. I've picked up
Right.
little words, may I have and please, and then I just like read from the menu and pick up the pronunciation right? But I always try to make an effort to pick up something when I go someplace where there's no language to come back with like a certain amount of words or something. And I'm thinking like, did I step? So I was trying really hard. So like it was happening all the time, every day with everyone because I kept trying to speak a little bit of the language area I was. And I thought I was being polite and respectful.
Well, I was in. I remember I was in Uruguay, and one morning, the fellas are like, "All right, Paul, can you run down to the store and get some bacon? We got eggs, we got toast, but we got no bacon." Well, we didn't have toast; we had bread, and we would put that in the toaster. Then it becomes toast, but we have no bacon. Sorry, it's funny. It's funny. So I said, "Yeah, I'll run to the store. What else do we need?" They go, "Well, we are on vacation and we're out of beer. No problem. I'll load up on beer." So I go to the store and I walk down back to the butcher counter and I'm like, por favor, 200 gram pancetta. Hang on a sec. I got a call coming in from just a second here.
Oh,
hello,
okay.
darling. We're on a podcast right now. How you doing?
Hello, mademoiselle.
Yeah. Speak up. They can hear you on the mic. Say hello.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
It's the fox interrupting the pod. Sorry, babe.
Well, we just thought we'd do like a chill Friday, not a casual Friday, because that's James' thing. But can I call you back in a couple minutes? Because I'm going to take Lola out in about 10 minutes, okay? Cool, I'll call you then. Bye. So I was in in Uruguay. I go to the store, I grab some beer, I get to the cart, I go to the butcher counter, and I go, could I 200 gram pancetta? And she goes, ¿Qué? I go, 200 gram pancetta. And I'm pointing, pancetta. She goes, oh, pancetta. I'm like, oh, fuck off. I was saying it in Italian, pancetta.
Yes.
But there it's pancetta. I'm like, really? It's that different? It's pancetta. Come fuck off. And she's laughing at me. And I'm like, I'm a white guy from Canada. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And she goes, what? I go, just give me the fucking bacon so I can get out of here. I was angry about it, ridiculously so. I mean, it was stupid of me to be angry about it, but it was like, why did you laugh at me? I was trying really hard and you laughed at me. And if you want to stop somebody from wanting to learn your culture or your language, laugh at them when they're trying to speak it.
Sure.
Because you ridiculed me. And all because I pronounced one word differently. Pancetta. Oh yes, the difference is so vast. I'm like, come on. So I get back to the apartment and the guys are like, what? I go, this is what happened. And my buddy, Alejandro, he looks at me, he goes, yeah, we can be assholes about that shit. He goes, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm like, oh, okay. He's Uruguayan. That's where he's from. And he goes, yeah, we can be assholes about that.
I like that. Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not doing it again, man. I got enough things to ridicule me on my daily life back home in Canada. I don't need to be ridiculed on vacation. He goes, no problem. I'll do that from here on out. I was like, thanks. Or one of the other guys who spoke Spanish. There's a couple of guys that spoke Spanish. So it was when we tried to send our friend Steen, who is Norwegian, and he's 6'9" and weighs 340 pounds to the store to buy stuff. And he's like,
so
his English is an accent. Yeah, he didn't speak Spanish at all. But they just like, what do you want? Because he's this big, lumbering, huge, giant Norwegian Viking, right? So they just give him whatever you asked for. He just point and they'd go, no problem. They give him one. It was funny when we went to Montevideo and we're walking towards the port. And when you're walking towards the port, you go through this really beautiful area. And as you're getting towards the port, you go through some kind of sketchy parts of town.
Okay.
And Uruguay is probably the safest country in South America.
Okay.
Central and South America. It's the safest country. But you can walk through some sketch neighborhoods where, so we're walking along and Steen has this big Nikon camera hanging around his neck with a giant telephoto lens, and he picks it up and he's shooting, and I see what he's shooting a ship that he can see in the harbor. But as he's doing it, there's a bunch of really tough, mean-looking gangsters sitting in row housing on their stoop drinking beer. And I'm like, oh, Stian, Jesus, don't. I'm like, oh, Jesus, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And the guy starts yelling at us. Now, one of my buddies who was with us grew up in Buenos Aires. He's
Mhm.
Canadian, but his mom worked for foreign affairs. So he lived all over the world. His mom was a diplomat. So he spoke Spanish fluently and French and I think German. And the guy's yelling, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And he says, "Oh no, he's just taking a picture of the ship." And he's pointing. He's like, "The ship, the ship." He's taking a picture of the ship. He's from Norway. He doesn't under. He's like, the guy's like, "You shouldn't do that." And we walk a block away, and I go, "Stian, just don't do that ever again." He goes, "Why?" And I go, "Well, people around here do own guns. This is not Scandinavia. This is not Canada.
Hmm.
Uruguay is the safest country in South America, but people have guns. You notice the place we're living in, there's a gated fence to get into the building that we're staying at." He's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, again, it's the safest country, but there's still danger. There's
Yep.
still danger. And Stian, he's only really traveled throughout Scandinavia.
Okay.
So he didn't know. And I realized when he did that, I'm like, he doesn't know that he's doing something dangerous.
Right.
And when we went to Buenos Aires a couple of days later, we're in the hotel, and I know to keep chill and don't look, and we're getting ready to go out. And my buddy says, "Paul, take off all of your jewelry and put it in the safe." I go, "What?" He goes, "Your chain, your earring, your watch, your rings, all of it in the safe." He goes, "Carry your passport and your cash. Don't carry your wallet, no credit cards, no ID, no nothing. Your passport, because you're going to need it possibly to get to some places, but other than that, don't carry anything." I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Trust me." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, brother. No problem. Put it all in the safe." We go and we get down to we get on the subway, the metro, the subway, whatever you want to call it. And we get on the subway and I look around and I realize there is not a single person on the subway wearing a watch. There's no earrings, no jewelry, no rings, no nothing. The women aren't carrying purses. And I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And he said, "Here's the thing. You wear this, you'll get mugged. They won't hurt you, but they will threaten you and they will take your stuff. And if you put up a fight, they will hurt you. People just avoid all of it by leaving all that shit at home." And I'm like, that makes sense. He says, "I know this is different for you and you've traveled a lot." And I go, "Yeah, I've been Paris, New York, London." He goes, "Yeah, but those are metro cities where it's different. It's not. Buenos Aires is a city of about 18 million people. It's a big damn city. It's basically a city state. Its economy supports most of Argentina. But the thing you need to realize is that it's not New York, London, or Paris.
Right.
There's a lot of desperate people there who will do desperate things."
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, that was a lesson for me. But I love Buenos Aires. I loved it. I had so much fun there. I had probably the best meal I've ever had in my life. We went to Tango Square and they brought out the steaks. And he gave me a fork, and I'm like, "Well, I need a knife to cut it." And the guy just pulls a spoon out of his pocket and literally cut the steak with a spoon. And I went, "Never mind." It was that tender.
Damn.
Like literally, you take your fork and go, "Oh yeah, that works." You don't need a knife. It's that tender.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Anyway, I gotta jump. I gotta go take Lola out because
All right.
people are expecting her. I don't know if you guys want to keep hanging out or
We're good. It's 10 o'clock.
yeah, 10 o'clock. I figured, yeah, well, an hour and a half on a Friday night, unexpected things. So so thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. Good times as always, and this was fun. We'll maybe do this again. I don't know, at some point in the future. Only if James wants to take part, because it's more fun when he's part of it, right? Because it's his thing.
Right.
It's his thing, and we're just, kind of filling some time because we were bored. Anyway.
Yeah, when you mentioned it, the thought is like, yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah, I had no idea, right? So that worked out well.
Yes. By the way, Kits and Cubs, Mr. Grizzly had no
clue.
No
idea.
clue I was in Ottawa, and no clue that James was in Ottawa, and no clue that we were in Ottawa together.
Yeah, no clue at all. So it worked out well. Anyway.
Plotting and scheming.
All righty, I got to go. I'll see you later.
All right, bye, everyone.